On the outskirts of Detroit, down a cracked road lined with rusted fences, sits an abandoned factory. Its brick walls crumble, its smokestacks haven't coughed out smoke in decades. Windows are shattered, doors rusted shut. But locals swear, at night, the machines still run. This is the story of Ironwood Textile Mill, a place that once employed hundreds, a place that fueled the American dream, and a place that, after closing its doors, refused to stay silent. Ironwood opened in 1919, built during the booming years of American industry. By day, it was filled with the sound of clattering looms, steam whistles, and workers shouting orders over the roar of machinery. The factory produced uniforms, flags, and textiles that shipped across the country. But with that success came hardship. The labor was brutal. Workers spent 12-hour shifts inhaling dust, losing fingers to machines, and collapsing in the heat. Families buried loved ones young, and whispers spread that Ironwood was cursed. The first tragedy struck in 1927 when a fire swept through the weaving room. Dozens were trapped inside. Survivors later swore the fire exits had been chained shut. Management called it an accident. Workers called it murder. Yet the factory reopened weeks later as if nothing happened. For decades, Ironwood kept churning. Its reputation grew darker with every passing year. Safety violations, deaths swept under the rug, workers collapsing and never rising again. By the 1960s, the mill was losing money. Automation replaced hands, orders slowed, and finally in 1974, the gates shut for good. Ironwood Textile Mill closed forever. But that's where the legend begins. Because almost immediately, people noticed something strange. At night, neighbors reported hearing the hum of machines, not faint, loud, as if the factory was alive again. They swore they saw smoke rising from the chimneys, saw lights glowing through broken windows. Police were called, investigators entered. But inside, the machines were silent, covered in dust. No lights, no power, no sign of anyone. And yet, the reports continued. Urban explorers who snuck inside described chilling encounters. One group claimed they heard the rhythmic pounding of looms echoing across the factory floor. But when they followed the sound, they found nothing, just silence. Another explorer swore he saw conveyor belts moving on their own, a bolt sliding, a gear turning, though no electricity flowed through the building. One chilling story came in 1993 when two teenagers broke in with a camcorder. The footage, though grainy, captured something terrifying. The sound of machines clanging to life, shadows moving across the rafters, and then a scream. Only one boy made it out. The other? He was never seen again. Locals believe the factory never really shut down, that the spirits of the workers who died inside keep it running, bound to their labor for eternity. Some say you can hear their voices chanting old work songs buried beneath the grinding of machines. But skeptics argue there's another explanation. They claim the factory sits on unstable ground, that underground pipes and shifting steel create sounds mistaken for machines, but even skeptics can't explain the lights. Or why dogs refuse to go near the building, or why compasses spin wildly when brought inside. In 2007, a team of paranormal investigators entered Ironwood. They brought high-tech equipment, cameras, and recorders. What they captured still chills those who've seen it. The sound of a whistle blowing, though no airlines remained. A shadow figure walking along a catwalk, then vanishing into darkness. And most disturbing of all, a voice on tape whispering, "Back to work." The team fled that night, refusing to ever return. Today, the factory still stands. Its walls are cracked. Vines creep up the brick. The roof has caved in, but the legend remains. Locals warn not to drive past after midnight. Because sometimes the windows glow, sometimes smoke curls from the chimneys, and sometimes if you roll your window down, you'll hear it. The grinding, the hammering, the endless rhythm of machines no longer powered by men. They say the factory feeds on labor, that the souls of the dead still clock in, that Ironwood is less a building and more a prison that never lets its workers go. If you ever find yourself on Detroit's outskirts and you see a towering shadow rising in the distance, don't stop. Don't listen for the machines. And above all, don't go inside because the factory is always running. And if you enter, you might never clock out. For more chilling legends and unsolved mysteries, subscribe to Shadow Oath. And tell me, do you think Ironwood's machines are still alive? Or is it the souls of its workers that keep them moving?